in 2016 all over again, honestly. In fact, I went back and looked at my notes from 2016 after the Troy game, just curious. And it was like I could have just erased the name. I could have just walked into the team meeting with the same comments because, you know, we just weren't different reasons, but same comments. You know, the only difference is we made one more play than Auburn in the opener. Came down to a Hail Mary. We played terrible. I think we dropped 3 touchdowns in that game. I think we had 11 drops in our first 2 games, those 2 years. I think we had 11 drops. Again, 3 touchdowns in the Auburn game. That was the game, and then Wayne Gallman, you know, he ran out of bounds, and I mean, it's just like we just were. I don't know. Deshaun was not playing well. What's wrong with Deshaun? Everybody's beating Deshaun up. He's terrible. He thinks he's the Heisman. He's this and that. He was 16. It was his last year. All the hype. And, you know, honestly, similar to this team, that was the first time that they got all the rat poison. You know, and that's kind of this group. This group hadn't really this group ain't had the rat poison. They've just had the you suck poison. And this is the first time this group's really had to manage that. And I don't think some of them have managed it well, obviously, you know, just being real. And I would say the same thing about that group, you know, because, I mean, nobody voted us high in 15, and we just kept winning. And we just kept winning. That might have been the best team I've had, honestly, was 15. I mean, that was a really good group. And they just kind of, but nobody really expected much out of them. We hadn't won the league since 11. And all of a sudden, here comes 15, and that team wins the league. You go on to the national championship. We know all how that played. But now coming into the 16 season, there's a lot of rat poison, as Coach Saban likes to talk about. And these are young people. Your quarterback's he's the first pick. He's the Heisman. You got all these guys back. You know, you got Mike Williams back. You got Artavis. You got Ray. You got Dion. You got Renfro. You got all these guys. And, you know, all these experienced guys up front. You got these guys on defense. And you're just going to press play right to Tampa, right? And that's kind of how I felt with that team. That was. I actually said that to the team. I mean, you guys feel like y'all can just – because, you know, their whole mindset was we're going to Tampa. And I'm like, you don't just hit fast forward. Like, it doesn't work that way. Like, this ain't a video game where you just, like on TV, on the screen, when you hit 10 seconds forward or you hit the arrow and it goes to the next thing. That ain't how this works. You know, it's one step at a time, one play at a time. You got to play every game. You're getting everybody's best shot. You're the league champion. And so I don't think they handled that well out of the gate. You know, and we go down to Auburn, I thought we stunk. Even though and it's the same thing. If Cade throws the touchdown to Tyler Brown and we win in overtime, I'm still pissed on Monday. Ain't nothing changed. Nothing changes. It's how you play. I've won a lot of games where we played like crap. I've lost some games where we played really good. And sometimes the team's just better. You know, so, I mean, to me, it's how you play. It's about how you play, who you play, where you play, what time you play, any of that stuff. It's how you play the game, right? Coach Stallings used to always say, when the great scorer comes to mark against your name, he cares not whether you won or lost, but how you played the game. And so, you know, and then the next week, ironically, we were playing Troy. And it was the same thing. I think it came down to an onside kick. Couldn't stop them in the fourth quarter. Win 30-24. That's a national championship. What's wrong? They all suck. Everything's bad. You know, but that team, I kept telling them, hey, you keep touching that stove, it's gonna burn you. And sure enough, we get to Pittsburgh and 600 yards of the shovel pass right up our it burned us. You know, and same thing. We had, 500 and something yards of offense. Might have had 600 yards of offense. But how many turnovers did we have? I think we had 5 turnovers in that game. You know, Deshaun was turning it up. We just weren't playing well. We had 11 drops in the first 2. We just weren't playing well. So that's a long answer to your question. But yes, I mean, I've been doing this a long time. It doesn't always go perfect. And I've had some teams that get off to a great start that struggled a little bit in camp. And I've had some teams great in camp and struggle a little bit. I mean, again, who you play matters. I mean, we could, like I said, some of these teams out there don't break a sweat till October. But we've always played people, and it doesn't always go great. But we're battle tested, but we got to get better. It just ain't no other. I mean, we continue like this, we ain't gonna win many games. I mean, we got to get in rhythm on offense, and we got plenty. We got the dudes, and we gotta do a better job as coaches and get in rhythm. But we're doing a lot of good things too. There's a lot of things that don't necessarily show up on the stat sheet that excite me as a coach, especially what I saw in the moment of last week. That was awesome. That's special. You hate situations like that, but it's special when you see a group of guys fight and stay together when everything's against you. So that was awesome. You saw it in the NFL. The Bills are down 15 with 4 minutes. I think half the stadium left, right? I've been to a Bills game. I'm sure that was salty, but get what they do. They just kept playing. Just kept playing. You just keep playing. Just keep playing. Have a bad week, keep playing. Keep playing. We're 4-4 around here. We won 5 in a row. I mean, you just got to play every week. And as coaches, we're teachers, and these are so many great lessons that you learn through this game of football that equip you for the rest of your life. And it ain't always easy. They don't always go the way you want. For me, and none of y'all either. It's just, I got a group of people writing about it the whole way through. It just comes with it. It's part of it.
If the diagnosis for the 16 team is wanting to hit the fast forward button to play Alabama again, do you know enough yet to diagnose the reasons behind the current?
Yeah, that's what I said. I think it's the first time that this bunch, and I don't know if that's the reason. I just think it's the first time. I mean, they just, the part that's supposed to suck is my punter and my special teams, and they're playing great. But they've been told how bad they are the whole time, how bad they are. But offensively, it's been like, man, nobody's going to ever stop. They're never going to punt. Nobody's going to ever stop them. Well, you forget you got to go play the game, and you got to execute. Everybody's got good coaches and good players, and our execution it's just not what it needs to be. The precision and the details, it's just not. And that's exactly what I said. I knew I had good players. I got great players. I got guys that are going to play on Sunday, but everybody's got a job to do. And my job is: are we in position to be successful? Now, if we're not in position to be successful, the plays aren't there, then that's a different story. That's a different story. But everybody's got accountability in what they got to do. And we better be on point this Saturday. This will be a battle.
You mentioned the special teams. Really, the only miss has been the 48-yard field goal that was missed. Other than that, you've had a punt return that was significant, a kickoff return probably that didn't get enough play last week. No kickoff returns by opponents. One punt return, I think, so far by opponents.
And we pinned them deep. We put them inside the 10. We executed a deep onside. Jackson, he's done a really nice job. I mean, that kid had a lot of pressure on him. Y'all couldn't wait for him to shank one. I mean, y'all couldn't wait for him to shank one. I know y'all had all the headlines ready. Swinney's stupid. He should have gone to the portal and got a punter. He's, whatever. Y'all had them ready. Y'all had them. Y'all keep them. They might come a day where y'all can use them, but not today. Today's not the day. Could come a day. So hang on to them. I know you got them written.
We heard a lot about inconsistency at times, Jax. I guess was there a point in camp or spring or the fall where you saw that kind of turnaround?
I mean, I don't think it was inconsistent. I think all three guys can do the job. I just think, sometimes we just think because we don't name a guy that they're all terrible, and that's just not the case. We have three good punters. Like, I really believe in McCune, and I feel terrible. I've been calling him McCune it's McCune, like a Q, and he finally got the courage to tell me like 2 weeks ago. I feel terrible about that. Apologize to his family, but, it looks like McCune, but it's McCune. pecan, whatever. It's, there's a lot of ways to do this stuff. But anyway, that kid can punt the ball. So can Robert Gunn. All three, I really have confidence in all three of them, but it wasn't that they were inconsistent. They were all just pretty good, and nobody just took it. There was times where they were all like, whoa, and then they were just not bad, but just nobody really just separated. And so, bless you. And so I just, Jack's the guy we recruited, and I thought he was just a nudge. He's been here. He's kind of ready. And but now you got, like I said, now you got to go to the game. That was kind of the next stage. Was all right. Well, let's get to the game, and then we'll decide if we keep running him out there, or we give another guy a chance. That could be an in-game decision. But he's really performed well. I mean, you're talking about against LSU's first punts backed up in the end zone. I mean, it doesn't get any tougher than that. And he's placed the ball well directionally. He's sky punted it. He's been really good. But I have confidence in those other two guys. I think we have a really good punting situation. So I know there's been a lot of angst about it, but somebody comes to practice one day, or the media comes to practice for 2 periods, and it's like, oh my God, they all shanked it. Well, maybe they just had a bad day, a bad period. It'd be terrible to be judged on, 1 hour of our day. We could have a bad hour, and the other 23 were pretty good. So I think just misinformation or whatever from time to time